guys, welcome back to another writing vlog. My name is Charlotte and I am an aspiring fantasy author documenting my journey here on YouTube and on the other social medias. If you hear The Office in the background of this clip, that is because my husband and I decided that it was time to not only rewatch it, but watch the Superfan episodes that Peacock has on there right now. So we kind of just have it on all day. God. Are you good? Are you okay? Anyways, yes, we're back with another writing vlog. This time it's not gonna be a week of my life, it's just gonna be a few days. We're gonna be in Orlando pretty much all day tomorrow. Like literally we have to leave here before 9 a.m. and we are going to be there until very late at night. We planned a whole day out there because if you watched my last vlog, something very crazy happened that has just completely changed the trajectory of my year. Not on my bingo card at all. And so we've been having to deal with that and work with that, as well as do our paid jobs and our creative jobs, because for those of you who do not know, yes, I am an aspiring author, as has been established, but my husband is also an artist. He makes music. We both are balancing creative ambitions and endeavors alongside trying to pay our bills, and that's been interesting. But yeah, so basically we are going to be out in Orlando for the entire day Saturday. I'm hoping to get in maybe like a writing session at a coffee shop for at least an hour between just like all the running around that we're going to be doing out there. Today is Friday and I have really just been working most of the day. I did some writing earlier today, I should mention that, but we'll talk about that maybe in a second here. Really just been working on social media for the rest of the day. I am trying to just be a little bit more on top of short form content so that I don't have to think about it, so that I don't have to scroll on TikTok for ideas every single day. But honestly, my goal for this year wasn't to be all in on the short form stuff. I really wanted to just like focus on YouTube and focus on getting back to vlogging and making the content that I actually really enjoy consuming and enjoy creating. I'm excited for this vlog. As promised 2 seconds ago, we can talk about writing because I did work on my book today and I've been working on it since we last spoke, and I have so much to say. I'm running out of daylight, so I'm trying to make this as quick as possible. I have Earl Grey tea here with me right now while we just take a second to chat. These days it's really just me and my Earl Grey tea against the world, let me tell you. I've been continuing revising The Winds of Destiny and I actually should check. I am on chapter 20. I've kind of split up the chapters a little bit since the last draft, but I think where I left off in the last vlog was in chapter 15. So I've done like 5 chapters in, I guess it's been like 2 weeks, which seems very like not a lot of progress, but quite honestly, like I haven't been writing every single day. I've been finding it kind of just difficult to write when I'm in the office this week. I used to write before work every single day. And lately that just hasn't been working for me. And I think it goes to the point that I'm about to make about my progress seeming quite slow. I think my progress seems slow because I am working like so meticulously with each chapter. Like I'm really thinking deeply about the changes that I'm making. When I was working on this draft before, I was kind of just like being productive, but like in a procrastinating way. Like I was kind of just rewriting things, tweaking different words and stuff, and I wasn't actually making any changes to the developmental stuff that like I knew needed some work. So I'm doing that now. And it does take a lot of me just like pausing and thinking and like rewriting some things and rearranging things. And I literally was freaking out. On Monday, I wrote, I think for like 5 hours. I think I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna spend the whole day writing, working on this. And oh my gosh, I got so much done. I joined the live stream again. So Natalie, Jane Shields, and Taylor, they've been live streaming like every Monday throughout the month of January. And I really hope they continue it because this is the only reason, they're the only reason I've been able to write this much this month and just kind of feel motivated to get back into a routine with this book in particular. having just like coworkers, I guess, writing alongside me has just been so crucial and so helpful. I've made so much progress in the sense of like some of the developmental changes, and on Monday when I was writing, I was freaking out. Like standing up from my desk, jaw on the floor, absolutely losing my mind over some of the changes that I chose to make in the book, and it's just like, guys. But yes, the changes I've made are making me so happy, and it just feels so good because it feels like the book is getting to a place that I always knew it could be at, and like where I believed it could be at. All it really needed was perseverance, consistency, and honestly time away from the manuscript and time to just like marinate and think about it. So yeah, I'm really hopeful for where this is going. Again, I'm hoping to get some writing done when we're out in Orlando. We'll see. I don't know how feasible that's going to be. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna head out now. I'm gonna drink this tea and finish up my work for the day. I'm hoping to do a little bit of writing this evening. I did some this morning, and I'm just really hoping I get the opportunity to circle back, even if it's just for like 30 minutes. That would make me really happy. So, hungry?
I'm take it down.
We got Chipotle.
Oh my god, I love Chipotle. Chipotle is my life.
Also, The Office is on in the background. I was going to cook, but it's Friday. I think everyone knows what that means. Wait, is this mine or yours?
I hooked up with her on February 13th.
Switch.
Accidents every 4.5 seconds.
Shut it.
Well, that didn't go well.
No, it did not. And that is because in no time do you employ the use of humor.
Hi, I'm back. I'm about to write for like maybe an hour max. Not gonna lie to you. I'm having like a lot of like neck and back pain right now, and it's from like sitting here like this. Or like this gremlin. It's not very fun, but I'm back just because I feel like, I don't know, I'm just really in like that mood where I just like want to just get a lot more work done in my manuscript. Lately, I've been really enjoying just like having a YouTube video on, like a YouTube ambiance, especially anything that's like Narnia or Merlin, and it's because a lot of my book is inspired by those things, and I've been listening to the soundtrack a lot, but I find that the YouTube ambiance just has like a lot more music options, and I like having the aesthetic on the screen and stuff. It's just really pleasant. I'm probably gonna do sprints again, like the Pomodoro work sprints, so that I can like force myself to get up from my desk, do a lap, stretch, come back, write. We're just gonna get right into it, because if I keep talking to you guys, I'm not gonna do it. So let's get to writing. Okay, it's been, I think, like a little bit over an hour, and I just finished writing a chapter. Yeah, I know.
I actually did it myself. Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I finished writing a chapter, which is really exciting. I'm on chapter 21 now. And yeah, these series of chapters are honestly my favorite because it's just when the action picks up, the stakes pick up a little bit. There's a lot of fun character moments, some fun side characters that emerge. And yeah, it's just really, I'm having a lot of fun. These are my favorite scenes like in the whole book, just because it's just so fun. I mean, it's intense for the characters, but it's a lot of fun for me. And I know I'm gonna have to do a lot of revising on the end of this chapter and the beginning of chapter 22, like of the next like section of the scene, just because I know there's a lot of like, it's not filler, but it's like basically the characters are they're on a journey right now, and they really have just started their journey, and they're stopping somewhere to rest before they go into a place where like they're not gonna have, like they're going into the wild. Like there's no towns, there's no anything out in like the direction that they're heading, and so this is like they need to like reset, regroup, get some food, get a good rest, and then they're gonna set out in the morning to continue on their journey and whatnot. So in this chapter, there is like an attack that happens like where they're staying, and I have it right now that one of the characters kind of gets into this altercation with someone, and they know at that point that they're like actually in danger and they actually need to leave, but no one leaves. Like they kind of just like sit down and map out where they're going. I feel like it kind of works in the scene, but I also feel like it's slowing things down. I'm gonna be thinking about this while I'm out and about in Orlando tomorrow and like on the drive there, just like if maybe I want to take some of the elements of that scene and move it into the one that I just revised, because that might work. Like it could very much work. Also, it could be something that is discussed later on instead of in that particular scene, or maybe it's just something that's condensed. But I feel like the pacing in this book is kind of weird. And honestly, I'm really grateful to have read this book, A River Enchanted, because my book is similar to this one, whereas it's kind of very character driven. I feel like the pacing is like moves a lot slower than typical YA, which is something I'm nervous about and something I've been like really trying to fix without messing up the story too much. It does make me feel a little bit more open to potentially making the story adult, even though I do feel like this is definitely a young adult story. I just know that there's a lot happening. Like it's very intriguing and engaging in the sense like this one is. Like there's a mystery that's being uncovered. There's stuff going on with like these different characters. And I feel like that really grips the reader and keeps them reading in a very similar way that I felt A River Enchanted did. But the action and just like things happening, it takes a little while. Like I like things to marinate. I like things to build. I like to take my time, but like YA readers nowadays, like they don't. And a lot of YA readers are actually reading like adult now. So I don't know. I have no idea. These are the things that I don't want to be thinking about right now as I'm revising. To be honest, like I'm thinking about it a little bit. Like I'm definitely thinking in the sense of like, okay, I need to find a way to fix the pacing just like a little bit. And I feel like I've actively been doing that throughout this draft, just being like more intentional with like what descriptions I keep in, what descriptions I change to make it feel more involved in what's going on in the scene, what things I make more concise, which is the hardest thing for me, is to make anything more concise. As you can probably tell by my vlogs where I talk for like hours on end. But yeah, I'm really hoping that I can kind of come up with some ideas tomorrow and like just this weekend and over the course of this vlog for these next few scenes, because they are my favorite. And because they're my favorite, it's hard for me to be okay with changing too much about them. But I think for the things that I'm talking about, like there's definitely a way for me to do that. As I'm revising and kind of rewriting things, I'm trying to keep the pace going so I can just like get through the draft. As I'm doing that, I'm leaving myself comments in the manuscript. So right now I am using Google Docs to write this book. Normally I use Scrivener kind of for drafting, but for some reason, like with where I'm at with this book, just Google Docs is such a better space for me to be in. So I'm going through a manuscript, and as I'm kind of like reworking these scenes, I'm also leaving comments to myself throughout the manuscript. So then when I'm done going through this draft, I have comments of things I already know I need to revise. So I'm not spending hours on end revising every little detail all in one go. My goal right now is to just get this draft to a place developmentally that I really like it. Now, I am still caring about the prose. However, there are some lines I've written that I've just like, as I'm writing it, I'm like, this is not good. I don't like the way I said that. This needs to be a shorter sentence. I'm leaving all of those as like comments in the manuscript to myself. So then when I'm done, there's gonna be like a number of comments. And my goal, instead of rereading and rewriting the entire manuscript, is to click on each comment and fulfill them until the number is 0. When I realized I could do this, I was like, why wasn't I Why wasn't I doing it before? But I'm really happy with the way that I'm going through the book right now because I feel like it needs that like meticulousness. And the only reason I'm okay with doing that again, because I've gone through this book a million times already, is because I took such a long break away from this manuscript. I haven't really worked on this book since October. It's the end of January right now as I'm filming this. So I wrote a whole new book in November and I just took a break in December because I needed one. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night now for writing. I would keep going, but like I said, neck, back, hips now are kind of like hurting. So I feel like I just need to not be at a computer because I've been sitting here for like hours. I need to stretch. I also need to run to the store. I need to go to Walgreens. So yeah, probably read the rest of the night. Maybe continue watching The Office with my husband. Anyways, I'm gonna finish drinking my tea. I'm gonna run to the store and I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my night. So I will check in with you guys tomorrow from my car, probably. I'm excited. My house is so cold. It is Canada cold. I was not expecting this. Everyone was saying, oh yeah, it's gonna be super cold. Oh, it could snow in Orlando. Oh, freeze warning. And I was like, I'm a Canadian living in Florida. I was like, what do you mean? This doesn't happen here. Well, apparently it does because my house is freezing cold right now. There's frost outside and I'm not complaining. Because in August, when it's like 95 degrees out, we will be thinking of this day. I always loved the winter when I lived in Canada. I loved going for walks in the snow. I liked when it was cold and I could stay home and be cozy. Of course, after a certain point, it did infuriate me, but I really miss seasons. And so I'm really grateful that Florida decided to have some this year. Also, yes, I know. Okay, I did not vlog this weekend as I promised I would. And it's now Monday, which means that the weekend's over and this is in fact not going to be a weekend in my life, but perhaps a week. So what happened was like on Saturday, my husband and I, we went to Orlando for specific reasons. Okay, we were on a quest. Our side quest was a friend's birthday bash event thing. There was like, I think an hour we had to sit at a cafe and I was just so tired and overstimulated from just like all the driving around and hopping around the city to like different places and stuff that I just like sat down and was like, okay, first of all, I needed to do some personal admin when we were sitting down, but then I was working on an Instagram post on how to balance writing and a day job because that was something that a lot of people said they wanted some more like advice on, and I felt like I was good to speak on it. If you watched my last vlog, I work part-time now. I'm not full-time, but I still have a lot to balance with that, with my job, and then also I do kind of work another job, which is basically helping my husband run his business. There's always going to be something that you need to learn how to balance writing with, because even full-time authors have to do that when it comes to like marketing, events. They're working on multiple books at once. Like learning that balancing act is not just for that season when you have a day job that's not writing. Like there's always going to be things that you're going to have to like work around, and so using those muscles now and building those skills now is going to help a lot. And as someone who does want to be a career author, I am very adamant on trying to build those skills as much as possible now because I've watched a lot of videos of other authors on here and just like on TikTok and stuff talking about like their deadline situation, and it does make me want to cry because I was in an English and creative writing program for school and it's the exact same. And I knew that when I decided that I wanted to write books and become an author, but it's really starting to hit me now that like you basically sign up for homework for the rest of your life. Anyways, I'm in a decent mood right now. It's the afternoon, by the way, and I'm only just getting ready now because I've been working a lot. This morning, I wrote for like an hour, I think, after I did my usual morning stuff, which is like journaling, reading, drinking my coffee, which I need another one desperately. I'm really tired today. And I think it's the cold. I think it's my body's not used to it being this cold. But I need another coffee today, especially because there's going to be another writing stream. There's always writing streams on Mondays. Thank you, Natalie and Taylor, for doing that, because if you weren't, I wouldn't be having another writing session this afternoon, to be honest. I made some more progress on my manuscript. I think where I last checked in with you guys was I was kind of talking about, I think I was mentioning I was writing some of my favorite scenes. So I'm in the thick of that right now. And I think I said too, I wanted to change something about those scenes where like action was just more like head on. I didn't end up making that change, and I think it's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of stuck on that part, just like trying to figure out if it's really necessary or if the pacing is actually like fine. I know it's a fine line when you're rewriting a book, because it's like, how much do I actually need to change and how much is me just like nitpicking things? And this was one of those things where I was like, okay, I think this might be like a nitpick situation. So I think I'm gonna go back in my manuscript when I sit down in a few minutes to write, just leave myself a note as like an option to kind of revise those scenes. I worked really hard to get them to a good place where they're at now, and it's really just like these small things that need attention. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying writing it. I'm still having so much fun. I can't think of anything else to share because really not a lot has happened, except that I went to Orlando and told you guys I was gonna vlog, and then I didn't vlog anything. Anyways, I'm gonna finish getting ready and then I will catch you guys when the stream is happening in like, I think 20 minutes. Okay, the stream has started. I am just sitting down now, so I feel like they definitely are already starting.
Also available on her page. So those are the best ways to do it.
Yes, it is such a creative idea. We love Evelyn.
Dream of hers, and it basically is a different genre. And if I want to say crime.
Ooh, okay. Anyone who is Evelyn, while you're here in the chat, if you could.
Working from home today because we have an event this week. Normally I work from home on Thursdays. Honestly, this week has been extremely chaotic, and this vlog has been just as chaotic, and for that I apologize. My life is in disarray right now in a good way, but it's just a lot. Thank you if you're still watching this vlog. I appreciate you. Writing has been really hard to balance this week, I think. Yesterday I joined the stream. I really like tapped out in like the first few minutes, and I think it's because it was like a longer talking session and I had done so much work in the morning that I was just kind of burnt by the time the stream came around, but also because I just kept thinking about the errands that I needed to run. And so I was like, okay, I'm just sitting here, I'm doing nothing. Let me go get the things I need to get and then come back and write and what have you. On that note, I don't think I'm gonna be writing today. I would like to, like 30 minutes before bed, and if I do, I will check in with you and give you a little update on where I'm at. If you follow me on Instagram, I should have already posted this, but I shared an Instagram carousel post on just like my advice for balancing your writing with a job. And I think I talked about this in the vlog already, so I'm not going to tangent on it now. But if you check out that post and you're someone who is also trying to figure out how to be a writer and live a very creative, fulfilling life, and maybe you have dreams of being a career author like me, maybe you just want to be able to publish a book this year, I definitely recommend you check out that post and also follow me on there, because I'm trying to post more advice in that regard and not discredit the like wisdom and knowledge that I have gained as someone who has completed a entire degree in English and creative writing, and also who has been writing since middle school and trying to navigate how to chase my dream while also living my life. Yeah, so I really need to get to work right now. Life is a mess sometimes, okay? I'm in like a busy parking lot, so it's kind of crazy that I decided to do this now, but it's the only time that I'm gonna have today to like really update you guys. It is raining and it is gloomy, and I have been listening to one of my writing playlists all morning as I've been working from a cafe. I decided to work remotely today because I have so much work that needs to be done, and any of you who work in an office will know that like not a lot of work gets done when you're in the office. So I've been listening to not the Winds of Destiny playlist, but the playlist for the sequel of the Winds of Destiny. I've been listening to that one a lot because the rain is just the vibes. Okay, the rain is exactly the vibes for that book specifically, and I love it. So I've been listening to that all morning and it's been so great. I did write this morning before work. I think I got a pass through like just over 500 words, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm starting to stress a little bit because I realized I am at the 50,000 word mark, but my story isn't at the midpoint yet. And this is the issue that I keep running into with this freaking book and with the last draft that I was working on, is that like so many things happen in the beginning to kind of like lead up to this journey that they're going on, and it's all necessary things, but like this is not the midpoint. Like, and I know that the midpoint is supposed to be around like the middle, like the actual middle of your book, and like you kind of cut your word count in half to figure that out. But I'll be honest, like my book is not structured that way, and I don't know if that's going to be a problem or if it's working. Like I really don't know. Like the pacing of this book is something that I've been struggling with a lot, as you guys can probably tell. But yeah, I just don't really know what to do. The midpoint, it's not ready to be the midpoint yet. Like we haven't gotten to that part of the story, but because this is a portal fantasy, there are things I needed to establish before Carter enters the new world, my protagonist enters the new world, before I can kind of get into the nitty-gritty of the world. And then of course you have to establish like the new world and like everything that's going on there and stuff. And I do think that based on beta reader feedback and just like my own assessment of the book, like I do think that those beginning parts are intriguing enough to like hook the reader and keep people wanting more and wanting to read more. Even though there's not like a lot of high action at the beginning, like there's some things here and there, but I think what's going on like emotionally for Carter and like what she's discovering is just like really, there's a lot of tension in it, and I think that's kind of what keeps the reader to the page, is just trying to figure out like why she's entered this world, why this world opened for her, why her cousin keeps dreaming about this world, and why is it real? Like why is she connected to it? Like I think those are questions that keep readers like wanting to keep reading more. I'm tempted to pause and just really sit with it and think about the pacing, but I'm also tempted to just keep going with this draft and making the changes that I feel like I've been needing to make, and then just start querying, like just leave it at that, because if my book gets picked up by a literary agent, they're also going to nitpick it and they're also going to edit it with me, and I'm gonna have to revisit it again. And quite honestly, I'm at a point where I feel like I've done what I personally can for the book, and I need like a professional to like really look over it. And right now for me, that is a literary agent. Whether one that's going to accept me or one that's going to reject me. Either way, I just feel like it needs to be in the hands of professionals. And again, like my mindset with traditionally publishing this book, or at least seeking traditionally publishing, is to just give the book its best shot. It's to at least try querying it and get that experience under my belt and hopefully get picked up by an agent. But if not, I do have plans to just publish this book myself. And if that's the case, then it's going to an editor. Okay, we're gonna figure out how that process works and everything, and we're just gonna send it. Okay,
I don't know, I just woke up from a little nap. It's a little dark, but you guys silly? I'm still gonna send it.
because I need this book to come out for me more than anyone else, because I've been working on it for so long, and I think it's a good book and I really like it, and I think other people will too, even if it's not like what fits into the traditional market and like industry and whatnot. But anyways, I really need to get to the office now in this rain and yeah, get back to work, but I just wanted to check in really quickly.